Mark Arman with VIB TV. I'm here today with Rick Grant. Rick is an in-home healthcare worker. He has a lot of clients at Casa de Vallejo. As most of you know, we've had a terrible fire at Casa de Vallejo on Friday, and a lot of the residents are displaced. Rick, can you tell me a little bit about what happened as far as you know? I know you've spoken to a lot of people who were there on the scene.
As far as I know, from what I understand, a lot of people that were there, they said that there was some kind of an explosion.
Okay.
And the fire started on the 6th floor, and it just rapidly spread throughout the 6th floor and up onto the penthouse on the 7th floor. And apparently there was a bystander come along, banged on the door, and got in the building, and some of the residents and police and fire, they managed to get, it was my understanding at the time, everybody out, but that turned out not to be the case.
There was one fatality, unfortunately.
Yes. And actually, I had a relative call me at 5 o'clock. It was a little bit before 5, telling me that it was on fire, and I'm figuring it's a little fire. When I turned on the TV, it was just, you know, mad dash down to Casa de Vallejo, and when I got there, it was chaotic. They had gotten most of the residents out, and they were putting them on buses and taking them down to the church down the street. At that point, I didn't know where either one of my clients were at the time, and it was just. I
understand there were some delivery men, people that were not part of public safety, that went in and pulled residents out. Is that correct?
From what I gather, what I've heard, and I get this from the residents, and believe me, so far they've been the most accurate on the story, was that this gentleman was driving by at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and he seen smoke, and he kind of banged and rang the bell until he finally got somebody up, and he literally went in the building and started banging on doors, and he actually, you know, up on the 6th floor, he actually helped carry some people down, and he was one that, from what I understand, was actually the one that notified the police and fire, and then they come along. But he was, from what I understand, he was the one that actually drove by and seen smoke. And he knew he had to do something.
Now there was an explosion. You think that could have been an oxygen tank? You know, if residents were using oxygen on those floors?
Probably. People I talked to in the neighborhood afterwards, of course, you know, most of them know me, and I'm talking outside of Cassidy. All of them said that they heard an explosion. Now, whether there was a fire before and it caused the oxygen tanks to blow up, the fire department hasn't said yet, but the odds are most of them have oxygen tanks in there, so it would be pretty common.
And I gather there are not sprinklers in the actual rooms. That's what my understanding was. Is that correct?
Basically in the common areas and the hallways.
Okay.
And from what I understand, that there was some controversy over the fire alarm going off, or it didn't go off. A lot of the residents said that the smoke alarm went off, but the actual fire alarm didn't. And they said that by the time people come to get them out, there was apparently another gentleman, and his name I can't think of right now, that lived there. When he came out, he said the hallway was full of smoke, and he also went along just banging on doors, and that's kind of the way that it went.
Now you work as a health aide to specific clients in Casa de Vallejo, so you're still very much in touch with these people at this point?
Oh yeah, I technically work for two, but you know, at Cassidy, it's really a close-knit place, and if somebody needs something, you know, we help them out as much as we can. And like I said, it is a very close-knit, and that's probably why, fortunately, that there wasn't more tragedy to this, is because the close-knit and people, when their neighbor comes banging on the door or whatever, or they're hearing a commotion, they're going to come out and check.
Right.
Because there's a thing about falling. When they hear noises, they're going to check because they think their neighbor may have fallen, and so that probably saved a lot of lives because the noise was unusual. And then.
What about the plight of the residents now? Where are they, and some of the people that you take care of? Can you tell me a little about that?
Well, they are strung out everywhere, and that's very unfortunate.
So are they in hotels?
They're in boarding care homes, hotels. Some of them are with family. One of my particular clients is a person that uses a electric wheelchair. He's at his daughter's house, which you can't even use a manual wheelchair in her home. He was supposed to be placed in boarding care, but apparently, I'm not quite sure what happened, but it was something about the cost for the short period of time. It just didn't materialize. And actually, if I would have known the way it was going to work, I would have just brought them here and then had their family come pick them up here and take them home.
Is there any plan for the residents that have been displaced, or is it just kind of not knowing what's going to happen and where they're going to end up at this point?
That was the problem with the day this happened, is they are situated until tomorrow morning, and then we kind of start this whole process over again. I know for a fact that the clients that I take care of, both of their daughters both work nights, and of course they sleep during the day, and they're not able to take care of them. I mean, they would glad to do it. Both of them are taking off this weekend, but it's our understanding, we won't know until tomorrow anything, that Casa de Vallejo and all these organizations that you read about in the paper, Red Cross, they're working on longer term, and then...
So the Red Cross is going to help out and see if they can figure out where to put these people and how to help them get situated.
Yes, and I must say something about, that the last few years with some of the tragedies had, I've been very critical of the Red Cross. And once the heroes got out of the way and the Red Cross got their arms around this, they were outstanding. They absolutely were great. The county nurse and my supervisors that came down from Fairfield, they were great. They really got on it. The whole thing was, when all this was going on, these people were just looking for a friendly face, people they knew, someone that they were used to being around.
A lot of them were probably scared and disoriented and so on. At this point, is there anyone that people can contact to help out if they want to help out?
At this point, from what I understand, it's the Red Cross. However, there are several of us, some of the staff, not management, but staff of Casa de Vallejo, and the healthcare workers working with some of the residents out at Casa de that are on the tenants association. We're trying to get something, work to get something going.
Okay, so if you guys get together a contact information, we'll be sure and put it up on the website and pass it along for people to learn about it. And I guess that pretty much covers it, and we'll be in touch and talk with you as this progresses. We'll have information and updates on VIB TV as we find out more on this tragedy and about the relocation of the seniors from Casa de Vallejo. Mark Arman from VIB TV signing off.